Rachel McLeod. I'm a licensed clinical social worker and emotional wellness coach, and I help people do the brain work for resolving symptoms of anxiety, depression, and traumatic stress. And because brains heal these, and brains heal these symptoms very, very quickly. And we can start to see results right away, instantly. Within 30 seconds to 2 minutes, we can start watching the brain walk through its own healing process and actually get you symptom resolution. And so that's the good news. The reason why I am on this video today, the title is, let me put my thing up here. Um, are you sick and tired of suffering from anxiety? That's really the question that I want you to ask. And I know that many of you are. I know others of you are not. Others of you are still trying to grapple and see, is this really anxiety? I've been there. I didn't even realize I was dealing with the massive anxiety I was dealing with. And so it's okay to be wherever you're at in your journey. But I want to ask you, are you sick and tired of suffering with anxiety? And I know many of you are. Many of you have been reading the books. You've read The Body Keeps the Score. You've been on F Your Brain. You've read that book. You've been reading about attachment wounding. You've been watching podcasts. You've been watching about narcissistic recovery and abuse and codependency. You have a head full of knowledge, and you also still have symptoms of anxiety. And you might be at a point where you're just sick of getting more knowledge. You're sick of getting just learning more and being smart about this, but not being able to change the way your symptoms are showing up in your life and your body. And that's the biggest complaint I get with people. And that's the biggest reason why people reach out to me and they start working with me, is because they're like, I get it. I know why I'm doing this. I know it's happening, but I can't make it stop. And that's really where this work, we're working with your brain, really comes into play. There is no amount of reading that is going to help your brain kick into gear, because reading and learning is a part of your prefrontal cortex. It's an activity up there. That's not where this anxiety problem is happening in your brain. It's happening in a totally different spot. And so there's no amount of learning that's going to get you the result of ending your suffering with anxiety. It's just going to give you a different position to look at it from. And ultimately, it's time to get free. Already know that anxiety is eating up your relationships. You already know that anxiety grows, right? That's part of, truth bombing moment. Time is not going to make anxiety better. Anxiety actually gets worse and more complex with time, right? What makes anxiety better is the brain actually resolving issues, which can take place over time. There are things over a 10-year period, there are spots and things that could happen that could really line your brain up to accomplish its work. But we already know how to help the brain do its work. And so we can do that in a very specific and targeted way that gets you the result of overcoming anxiety, depression, and traumatic stress in 2 to 6 months instead of 2 to 6 years. We don't have to wait and hope this problem resolves, and hope your brain gets the support it needs over years. We can actually dive in with a very strategic and systematic plan to help your brain accomplish the healing work it needs to do and build in function, so that you have the subconscious programming that leads to health and wellness, not the subconscious programming that leads to more and more symptoms. Because we're not just going to do the work to stop symptoms. We are going to overhaul this thing so that it's actually generating wealth. It's actually generating what you need, your connection, your ability to be intimate. All of these things that the symptoms of anxiety, depression, and traumatic stress are blocking for you now. Time is not going to resolve this. Your brain's ability to resolve these things are going to solve this. And you know that. You already know that. So I'm just reaffirming that for you. And I'm reminding you that don't wait for time to do this for you. Time is precious. You want to use your time for you, and you want to use it however you want to use it, not dictated by anxiety and not distorted by anxiety with those feelings of, I'm going to run out of time and feeling pressured. You don't need that anymore. And your brain is ready to help you resolve that. Another thing that's true is medication is not going to fix this. Medication can support this, and medication can make life easier for you while you have an anxiety, depression, or trauma disorder. Yes, I am not anti-medication. I am pro-medication at the right times. I am pro people getting the support they need, and sometimes they really do need medication support, and I'm glad it's there. I'm glad it's there. But make no mistake, medication doesn't fix this. Medication doesn't change the fact that your brain cannot solve its own problems. It cannot complete its own functions to create health and wellness for you. And so if you don't fix this, this is going to be something that continues. And this unresolved stuff, you can medicate it all you want to, but it's really the stuff that we're finding that it's highly correlated with the big major diseases. It is not good for your system to not be able to complete its own processes for creating health and wellness. So this is a really big deal, and the fairies are not coming. I love that. Oh, that helped me so much. I don't mean to be rude and to be the whole B word over here, but it really. One day I was in the midst of an anxiety, brain like confusion, codependent storm, and it occurred to me, nobody's coming to rescue me. The fairies are not coming. And I kind of laughed. I have a whole saying about it that my brain did, and it's not appropriate for the outside world. But one day, if we're face to face working together, I may share it with you. But they're not coming. The fairies are not coming. I was talking about the laundry fairy. I wanted her to swoop in and rescue me. The laundry was causing me massive flashbacks. It was I could hear as I was doing my laundry, I could hear my grandmother's words and the way she would talk to herself, and my mother's words and how she would avoid the laundry. And I was hearing how feelings of overwhelm and despair about the laundry. I was trying to do my own laundry and I'm freaking have a mental health problem. And when it occurred to me that the laundry is easy. What happens when I'm doing the laundry in my mind is really devastating and debilitating, and it's the worst. Once I started realizing that, I started using some interventions there. I got my brain through it, and now it's one of the fun things. It's I could be competitive laundrying if I had the time and space. Um, but because brains create change, and when we pull out the anxiety and the depression, the traumatic stress, and the ancestral garbage, the next thing you know, you're free to do the things because the things are not hard. How we feel about them is hard. Having a panic attack before you go to work is hard. That's the hard stuff. Work's not hard. You can do that. Opening your mail is not hard. Going outside, interacting with other people, not hard. How you feel about it is hard. Your anxiety, the anxiety you have to carry around to accomplish regular tasks that other people are accomplishing because their brain has resolved those things or has made a great way of being for them. You're suffering with this backpack of anxiety, this unresolved stuff that's creating anxiety for you. And it's just time to take the backpacks off, the unresolved garbage and brain trash and unresolved emotion and pain. It's time to resolve that. Even if you're like, I don't even like that stuff. I don't even want to talk about it. I get it. But it's causing you symptoms. Your brain actually wants to work on those and resolve those. That's why you have symptoms in the first place. And so that's the deal. So for those of you that are sick and tired of suffering with anxiety or just reading the next thing, or just suffering or not knowing when it's going to happen the next time, when you're going to lose control, when you're going to go off, and you're tired of reading, then I encourage you, take action right now. Get to work. There's nothing to it but to do it. Do the brain work. Get to work. Learn how to work with your brain and do it. You can do that right this very moment. And so, what I want you to do right now, and I'm going to be bossy a little bit because I really appreciate my bossy friends, and I am a little bossy. I'm going to tell you to take action right now. I have listed up on the header here of different actions you can take. I have a website. I I have a webinar, and that's just going to give you more information. I don't want you to do that. You can. I would encourage you to grab a spot on my calendar. Let me work with you to see what's going on, what strategy would work best for you, and help you find the right fit to move forward. And you can do that if you're ready to take action on this, then book a call with me. Let's do that. And you can do that by going to rachelmcleod.com/call. Grab a spot on my calendar. Okay. Now, for those of you that are dealing with social anxiety right now and you still want to take action now, send me a personal message. Let's go. Let me show you how you can get to work right now. Let me find you the strategy that will work for you and find the right fit with something that you're like, okay, I can do that. Let me get started now. Yes. And there's some of you out there who have been looking at my stuff, watching me, all this stuff, who are like, I totally want to get in her program and do it. Let's go. Let's do that now. If you have questions, if there's something holding you back, if you have any uncertainty, send me a message. Let's talk about it. But really, I want to get you to work. I want to get you working. I want to get your brain working. And there's nothing to it but to do it. Let's do it. Let's get you moving. Enough talk. Let's get to work. That's where the magic happens. That's where it all takes place. That's where you get to learn how amazing your brain is. That's where you get to learn how to be a team with your brain instead of trying to run from your brain and trying to run from all the symptoms. No, it is not for running from the symptoms. We're going to grab those symptoms and put your brain to work on them. And you're going to watch your brain resolve stuff over and over and over again until you are just in your world and you are not. That's what happens. What happens is I'm working with people, and all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, I don't know what we're gonna do." And I'm like, well, let's look. And so I kind of, since I know them, I'm like looking for symptoms. What about this? You know? And they're like, yeah, no, this, I'll just do that, or this is that, and this is how we're working it out. And you can tell that their brain has a good grasp and is already watching, trusting the magic, and is already has plans. And we just can't find symptoms. And that's when we're like, okay, we just kind of stare at each other. That's when you know it's over with Rachel. When we're working together, we just don't find any more symptoms. And this happens. And then it gets awkward. And then we're like, okay, well, I guess I'll see you in, a much longer time because, right, I'm here. We get to check in. And so I encourage you, do something now. And for those of you who are like, I am not booking a call, I am not personal messaging you or messaging your business page, whatever, and I'm not going to do any of those things. Okay, that at the very least, join my email list, get on there, and I start sending trainings of interventions. I don't teach you how to use them exactly because I don't. That's a whole thing, right? But and to learn how to do this work, it takes me quite a while to do that with people. 8 weeks, quite a while to get. I don't know that does. I'm not sending you the how tos. Okay, I'm sending you a powerful way of working with your brain, and so you can start getting results now. And when you're ready for the strategies, then you can reach back out to me and we can get you going. Right? And that's really what this video is about. It's about getting you going. I love that you're interested. I love that you're reading, but you're working with the wrong part of the brain when it comes to anxiety, depression, and traumatic stress. We've got to support different parts of your brain to get results. And when we do, those results happen so fast. So if you're sick and tired of this, suffering with anxiety, and you're ready to get to work, take some action now. Book a call with me, send me a message, join my email list, find some way to take action now. Let's get you results now, today, now. Whenever, if you're watching the replay, right now. Because it really is that simple. It really happens that quickly. And I want you empowered to take advantage of that because you don't have to keep talking about this problem. You don't have to keep reliving this problem. You don't have to keep worrying that you're going to give this problem to your children. You can start resolving it now. So, having said that, that's really what I wanted to say. And if you're sick and tired of suffering from anxiety, get to work. Do the work, do the brain work, get your brain to resolve these issues for you. It can, it wants to, it's already trying, it just doesn't have the support it needs. Give it that support. Okay. I will see you all later and take care. Bye.